People have been asking me to about this watery plants. So I thought I'll do a video to explain how I go about this activity. Now these aquatic plants, 3-4 categories of them. One is those that live under the water. Like in this aquarium, this water pot, this grows underwater. So that's one category. They live the entire life underwater. Then the second category is they float on top, like this azolla. I'm explaining watery gardens. So these plants, if they go under they'll drown under the water. They need direct sunlight all day long. That's also azolla. Then one more category is there. They have a root, but they also float. That is this trappa and some of them like that. And then of course this lily. This also the root, the rhizome is under the water, and leaf appears on top, and flower also comes out. Then some plants are there that live underwater most of the time, and when in these ponds and all, when the water starts drying up, they poke out of they get exposed to the earth, and this structure above the water structure appears, and then it flowers over there. That's also another category. This one can live underwater for long periods of time. It has a separate underwater structure, and then when it emerges, that form becomes tight and little different. Many of these limnophilia and all are in that group, and some of these rotola also. This one, it can survive underwater also, and then when the water dries up also, it will in the wet soil, moist soil, it will survive on dew and all, and it gets very hot and sunny, they dry up, but otherwise it has a surviving ability. 1 month and all, it can survive above the water, if the roots are well developed. Then some others are there. This is that one of that aquatic plant. Some of the names I forgot. This one, its roots are in the water, but it grows outwards like this. So you have one root in the water, and then it will start growing outwards like this and keep growing out, and it will spread out like it is done here. So it can the roots can be submerged in the water, and then it grows outwards and creeps outside, and settles in the earth also. Versatile plant. Then there are some of these bog plants. They kind of they float in the water, and they have these very tiny flowers. There's a whole bunch of them. They are called this utricularia. This one, small yellow flowers. it has a it's a carnivore. So these roots, these kind of stems are there, the floating mass on the water, and then from that those flowers emerge, and underneath there is a, it has a root structure that traps microorganisms which it consumes. So it's a carnivore. So this doesn't like fast flowing water and all. It likes a bog, stagnant water, and it also can't tolerate the drying up completely. It likes to float on the top, and sometimes little drying also it can tolerate. It survives. Then these are those Nymphoides indica, one of that lily, Indian lily. Then, so I think I described 3 or 4 varieties of these aquatic plants. Then others are there, like in this one, the soil is almost up to the top. So there's about one inch of water, and that water will you can increase it or decrease it. Sometimes you can allow it to evaporate completely. Once a week or once in 15 days you can add some water, or you can keep it with this much of water, 1 centimeter, half centimeter. And in this kind of situation, there is no deep water, just this some small moisture is there. And then, so here in this kind of pot with 80%, 90% mud and a little water on top, you can grow these some of these paddy field weeds. Here I got one. I think it's one of those Lindernia, Bonnaya. That one, it does very well, and it's a perennial. So it here there is only about 1 centimeter of water. So it can it settled nicely, and it's flowering every day. Flowers also very pretty. So these type of plant communities you can grow, and this one also is there. It also tolerates underwater. It can live as well as in this kind of bog. This trap also can do quite well in this situation. Then I got that Aquatica, Ipamia Aquatica. This also, the root you can put it in, then it will grow outwards. Then these aquatic ferns also you can grow in this. Some shallow water you can have some 3 inches or 5 inches. You plonk one on the side. These pots are a couple of years old, so it has to be mature. That is, mature means they should be all microorganisms and all should have formed in this, so that there's a healthy living ecosystem under the mud, aquatic ecosystem. Then this also, this is that it's one of that culinary herb. It's called Hanugane Sappu in Kannada. Alternanthera sessile, I think it's called, this one. So this also does well. It's rooted in the water, but the rest of the plant growing outwards. And if you have a couple of these, you can take a scissor and snip out all these tender sections, and then you can cook and eat it. It's a good herb. This one also, This Hypomia Aquatica is a good culinary herb. And if you have, for example, in this pot there are 3 eating items. One is this trapa, it produces a nut, edible nut. This Alternanthera sessile, edible. This Hypomia is edible. So you can grow many things. Then some other plant is, one is this, it's that monocoria, one of that plant like somewhat like the one of those floating, semi-floating plant. Then this is that Marsalia. This is also a very nice community. There is Limnophilia, and then one of that aquatic grass. This has about 60-70% water, and then the lily is there. Then this Polygonum, that Polygonum, one of them. It also can survive with, it likes to be in a watery pot. So some 6 or 8 species as well also. If you're going to keep deeper water, then you must put some guppy or something to control that mosquito larva and all. Then when you get a new pot, it's not established well. So it look like this. You start with one plant. Here I have used these old paint cans. So you put some mud, depending on what you want to grow, the level you can. If you want to grow those paddy field plants, you should put this much of mud. But these lilies and all, this is okay. They'll peek out and then that flower will come. So you start with 1 or 2 and then you add some more things as you go along. In 2 years, this will become a nice mature pot. There will be a full set of living things, small microorganisms and all. It will be healthy. Then you can grow a whole community of pots. Few more things I'll show today. These are all some new pots I just established just a couple of days back. I've taken paddy field sticky mud and then regular mud 50-50, and then that pot has no hole. It's about this wide, 1 feet. You can get different sizes and try out on them. And this I'm trying to grow those paddy field weeds, but the mud is still, it's not matured, this pot. So you can see that red earth and not much microorganism activity. Here I got that it's called Jalapipli, botanical name I forgot right now. Then this also I found in a paddy field. It is one more edible plant. Then this is one of that Limnophilia. So like that you put a few species, then later you can add or take out as you wish. So in this one I got that Alternanthera sessile, then this Ipamia Aquatica, Desmodium trifolium. So all these are paddy field. It's now the water is too, I don't want this much water, so you just get rid of little water. So now this is ideal. This is just how paddy fields are. And then you can, there's one more trick you can try. You can give a slope. For example, here I've given more mud in this end, so that some plants can live under with the submerged, semi-submerged, submerged, some of them above. So to see how they perform in this situation. So that also you can try. Here I got that Rotola. Rotolas also do well in this kind of pond, this watery water bodies. Then this is one more I made. So I'm working on about a dozen of them, and this is one of the best type of gardening. I mean, it's you don't have to do much work. Once it's well established and settled, then you just top up the water once in a while. That's about it. There's nothing else to do. Unlike other plants which require regular watering, this one, if you put a little extra water, then if you're going out of town for 10 days, 15 days and all, they'll survive nicely, these paddy field weeds, because the pot shouldn't have any drainage facility. That's an important part of that. And here also rotolas are growing beautifully. So many, about 10 species are there in this. And there's some guppies also there underneath. So this kind of community pots are they give great entertainment, and you can learn and observe also quite a bit. So that is how I do this aquatic plant. This Hypomia settled well. Hypomia Aquatica. So these tips can be nipped and you can cook it.